Welcome back to the Art and Yoga and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Kira Whitaker. So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the holidays and how to navigate your relationship with your health and wellness, how to honor your relationship with your health and wellness and your commitments and your goals. But how do we also stay present and have enough flexibility in our health and wellness to where we can be in community with our families, we can participate in meals, and not lean too heavily into the rigidity and into the routine side of our health and wellness. So how can we figure out what's going to be a good balance for us so that we can enjoy both? And I'll give you some tips and tricks and ideas to play around with, and hopefully you'll feel a little bit more prepared to navigate the holiday season in your health and wellness. So head on over to today's video and we'll chat about it. Welcome back to the Art and Yoga and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Kira Whitaker. So today, guys, we are going to be touching on a topic that I think will be beneficial and supportive as we approach the holidays. So what we're going to be talking about today is navigating your relationship with food, meals, and your overall wellness routine while still being present and participating in your community throughout the holidays. And so one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this now, when this episode comes out, it'll be the day before Thanksgiving. So what better time, right, than the day before a holiday? But over the years, I've had multiple clients address this with me in our health coaching sessions, because they will have this season of feeling really secure and really confident in their routine, in their boundaries around their health and wellness, whether it be their mindset, their movement, their relationships, whatever it is. And then the holiday season comes around and they go, oh, I'm used to my Monday through Friday routine. I'm accustomed to this lunch break and this workout class. The holidays are going to be way different because maybe your community is going to be different, meaning the people you're going to be around. Your schedule might be different. Also, some of the temptations as far as what people are serving, the amount of sweets, perhaps. Alcohol is more abundant in social settings over the holidays. There's a lot of different components and potential barriers that can be thrown our way over the holidays that can get us a little sidetracked sometimes. And so what I want to do in today's episode is invite you into a conversation that will hopefully set you up to be really present, be able to have the flexibility and trust in yourself to navigate some of those situations where you can figure out for you what is going to be the best way to go about it, but also maybe you bend a little bit, or maybe our conversation today leaves you with some tools to where you can feel really, really good about your nose. Whatever that may be, I hope that after today's episode, you feel a little bit more confident with yourself and going into the holidays and how you're going to navigate some of the dynamics that may be a little bit different than your everyday wellness routine, but don't have to completely sabotage your health and wellness. One thing that I think we all have to acknowledge is the holidays are, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, but really it's like a whole season, you guys. Like, it's not just those 3 days. There's the kids' parties at school. There's the stuff they're going to bring home. There's the office party. There's the friends party. There's the family gatherings. And before you know it, you're 20 meals in and cocktail parties in, and you're going, well, here we are, January 1st. And then what happens is we have these radical and oftentimes outlandish and very unattainable New Year's goals that we set because we've been so far away from our health and wellness focus for 6 to 8 weeks, that we now feel compelled to go really, really kind of far to the other side, which is overly restrictive and unrealistic in our goals for January. So what I want us to do is figure out a balance to where you can enjoy the holidays. You can have a little bit of wiggle room in maybe your movement, your rest, your nourishment, but it's not so far away from your health and wellness and your strengths and values and all the things that matter to you, that then you spend all of January in a guilt and shame cycle and start setting goals that, quite honestly, are probably not going to work out for you. So a couple of things that I want to start off with are, let's talk about movement. So many times during the holidays, all of our gathering and all of the things that we do with people is based around a meal. Meals are great. We're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to talk about food. But I would encourage you, and I would challenge us all, and I've talked a little bit about this in other podcasts as far as just relationships and community. I would encourage you to ask yourself, what are ways that I can be in community and I can spend time with my loved ones that don't involve me necessarily having to sit at a table and eat, One thing that me and my mom just talked about today, we were talking about next week, Thanksgiving. And I said, would you just want to come over Friday and us go on a really long walk? And she was like, absolutely. We are going to be, eating on Thanksgiving. I cannot eat stuffing 2 days in a row. And so I still want to spend time with my family. I still want to be in community with people, but does it have to be based around a meal? So maybe what ways from a movement standpoint could you spend time with people, enjoy yourself, but also kind of honor your body and show up for yourself? Maybe it's not the gym. Like, I'm not asking my mom to go do weight work with me. I'm not going to ask my mom to get on the treadmill with me at a, 12% incline. We're going to take a walk outside. So we're going to be in nature. We're going to be outside. We're going to catch up and we're going to move our bodies together, and it's going to be great. Okay. So what ways can you maybe from a movement standpoint spend time with the people that you love, and you're not necessarily just sitting and eating, or whatever other things, that you might do. So a couple more ideas are, maybe you go do a workout class together, support a local business that is more studio based, like a local yoga studio or a Pilates studio. I don't know. A couple other ideas is a bike ride. That's great. Figure it out. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to be overly prescriptive here because I don't know who you're inviting on your walk or who you're going to be with. If it's like your 98-year-old grandmother, maybe don't invite her to the Pilates class. I don't know. Maybe do. Again, you have to figure this out for you and your family, but maybe figure out a way to move together. The other thing I want to talk about in today's episode as just something to think about is food. Everybody loves to talk about food. Everybody's waiting on someone to tell them the perfect thing to eat to, have a great BMI and stay fit for forever. It doesn't exist. So let's talk about food, but let's be realistic about it. A few years ago, I had this kind of download, and this was years ago when I was pretty restrictive. And what I mean restrictive is there were things that I just wouldn't allow myself to have hardly ever, because I think at that time, and I'll do this in another episode, I'll dive down into this or go deeper into it, but I didn't trust myself to not be too rigid in my relationship with food. I didn't have a whole lot of food freedom. And so I remember multiple holidays, Thanksgiving in particular, where my sister-in-law that I love very, very much, my children's request for the dish for her to bring is always homemade macaroni and cheese. And she always brings it. That's what she brings every year. And then my mom always, the day before Thanksgiving, her and my kids make pumpkin pies. They bring that out. And for years, I would not touch any of those things. I don't have a food allergy. I'm not speaking, if you cannot eat something, don't. If your body's going to have an adverse reaction to it, clearly, guys, listen to your body. I don't have any food allergies. This was just because I was so rigid in my health and wellness, and especially with what I ate, there were no days off. There was zero food freedom. And a few years ago, I had this realization of it's not just the macaroni and cheese. It's the hands that prepared it, which is my sister-in-law that I love so much. She specifically brings it every year per my children's request, brings extra so that they can have leftovers the next day. The pumpkin pie that I would never eat because there's what? A little bit of vitamin A in the pumpkin puree. That's about it. So, why would I ever eat that, right? It's just calories and it's carbs and da-da-da-da-da. A couple years ago, downloaded. My sweet mother spends hours in the kitchen letting my children make these with her. That's such a sweet experience. And then my kids are so proud at the table that they brought these pies over from their grandmother's house, and I won't even allow it on my plate because it doesn't align with my fitness and health and wellness routine. And so one thing I want to encourage you to do for yourself, and you have to figure out what this looks like for you, is during the holidays, what is the balance between presence and maybe gluttony? What is the balance between overindulgence and not being present in your body to listen and go, I'm full. This is enough. My body doesn't want any more of this, or I've already had a lot of this. That's one way we can look at it. That's one way to feel it and to show up and be present. But the other way we can also look at it so that we have a balanced approach and a balanced viewpoint is, what am I saying no to so I can say yes to the rigidity of my health and wellness routine? Because for years, I said no to trying the pumpkin pie that my kids spent hours making with their grandmother because of what? Because of the calories, because of the carbs. That would have been the one bite of pie probably I had that year, in a year, right? Same thing with the mac and cheese. For years, I was like, nope, we don't want any leftovers here. Nope, take it back home with you. They can have it now, but we don't need that here tomorrow. Instead of being so gracious and thankful that my sister-in-law spent the time to make that and go, kids, get a Pyrex dish, get some for tomorrow. So figuring out, how can I be present with my relationship with food and not just black out and mindlessly eat for 3 days and then feel like crap? But also, how can I be present enough to where I'm asking myself, okay, whose family recipe made that? Okay, how long did it take you to make that? Tell me what you put in that. Thank you so much for bringing this every single year, because this is the one time a year that we get this in our home. And we're so happy that you brought it. Not just looking from a lens of good or bad. Carbs and calories, sugar. Okay. So those are my two things that I want to throw out there for you of approaching the holidays, more holiday meals, and how to stay really, really present, but also take care of yourself. How do we not go completely off the rails for 8 weeks and sabotage our health? But how do we also not be so rigid and so structured that we don't get to enjoy and also absorb the health benefits of being present and being in community and being joyful and feeling happy and feeling connected to the people around us that we love. So again, it's going to look very different for everyone. It's going to be different according to your family dynamics and the way that you do gather and celebrate. And some of you may already be like, here, I run a race every day or every Thanksgiving. And so check movement. Some of you might be like, oh my gosh, me and my family never move together. It's all based on, watching football and eating. No judgment here, guys. I'm just trying to throw out different options and different ideas to get your wheels turning so that you can maybe adopt some new traditions and some new tools throughout the holidays with you and your community and family so that you get the best of both worlds, which is being present, enjoying the holidays, but also honoring and showing up for yourself and your health and wellness. So I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out. You can leave questions in the comments. You can email me. You can reach out via social media. And I would love to continue the conversation with you. So happy holidays. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.